Overpopulation, food sterilization, and health. There is an overgrowing mass of humanity, more and more people being born into this world, multiplying exponentially, each demanding at least a quarter of an acre to live. We are depleting our resources faster and faster. We are putting nature out of balance on a global scale. It is no longer just the trees that we have to worry about, but entire micro-ecosystems that help support the ones that we depend on are being irrevocably changed or obliterated. Politicians don't seem to care either. The health and well-being of our species should be a priority number one, don't you think? Because it is not the health of the planet that should scare us. The planet will recover once we humans die out or our numbers are severely impacted. The planet will recover. It is our species and the wealth of knowledge that we have acquired that is at jeopardy. Consider this for a moment, that every year the amount of grain available to feed people decreases due to the rise in population, but it also decreases because of the desertification of farmland due to overproduction. But here is the scariest fact of all. The grain we are growing does not go to feed people. It goes to feed livestock. Animals such as chickens, who consume 2 times more grain per pound of grain per protein than people, goes to feeding pigs, who consume 8 times more grain per pound than people, and it goes to feeding cows, who consume a whopping 15 times more grain per pound of grain per protein than people. This all means that there is even less arable land available to feed the masses. As it is, arable land is stretched to capacity in most parts around the world, and water resources that were long considered inexhaustible have either dried out or are almost gone or have been contaminated by human activity. Yet through all this, our contribution to our own survival seems to be bring more people into the world. People whom we cannot feed, people whom we cannot educate, people whose choices will be like their parents, irresponsible and hazardous to their own survival. Should we sterilize 1 out of 5 people to reduce the population of our species? Sounds like a great idea in theory. In less than a generation, we would feel the sigh of relief as 1/5 of our future generation is never born. According to the wildly popular book Freakonomics, the legalization of abortion created the drop in crime that we felt 18 plus years later because would-be criminals were never born. But if this is the panacea that humanity needs, then how do we implement it without turning it into the final solution? What we take for granted in our free world is that survival in nature is not a guarantee. So while generations of well-intentioned good Samaritans from the wealthy to the working class tirelessly work to eliminate childhood diseases and hunger from developing countries, they seem to forget that the problem only exists because people bring into existence young that they cannot provide for. Look at the queen of the beast, the majestic elephant. She breeds approximately every 5 to 8 years, bringing into existence only 1 live birth, which her and her extended family of female elephants will protect. No other creature, predators in particular, would dare go up against her. Yet if the baby elephants outnumber the quantity that the elephants can safely protect, then that youth immediately becomes a target for a predator. My point is that perhaps we should learn from the lessons that nature teaches. We should not be so quick to spend money on government programs that help the sick. Health care is something that should be practiced at home, beginning in infancy. Proper diet, proper diet, fresh water, plenty of exercise. Lifestyle diseases such as heart disease, lung cancer, emphysema, obesity should not be federally or privately subsidized by insurance companies. We don't pay for boob jobs, do we? So if we are boobs and destroy our health, then why should the healthcare system have to help us? Why should the healthcare to help us be subsidized? If we should choose a short life by the life that we live, then so be it. Likewise, reproduction should be a privilege granted at a certain point in life. When can we prove that we have when we can prove that we have resources, financial, environmental, etc., to take care of life? I propose that a monetary compensation should be introduced as an initiative for voluntary sterilization. Women, and especially men who feel that child rearing is not for them, should be compensated for voluntarily permanent sterilization. Our civilization, like many who have passed before us, is reaching its apex, its zenith, if you will, and we need to take it off our blinders. I don't see myself as an alarmist. I enjoy life and don't look forward to any type of Armageddon scenario. I just want to make sure that 150 million years from now, when future archaeologists are digging up our remains, that they do not find an abrupt stop in the early 21st century and wonder, like we do about the Mayan and Aztec civilizations, what happened? I am Siempre Solo, and I have something to say.